The air in the apartment was thick with the scent of burnt toast and a perfume, a cloying jasmine that clung to my throat like regret. I stood frozen in the kitchen, her words still ringing in my ears. "You're replaceable, Ethan. Don't think you're not." Her voice had been sharp, casual, like she was commenting on the weather, but it sliced through me, leaving a wound I couldn't see but could feel pooling somewhere deep. My hand trembled around the coffee mug, the ceramic warm against my palm, grounding me as the world tilted. I didn't respond. I couldn't. My silence was louder than any scream, and I saw it in her eyes, a flicker of unease, like she'd expected me to fight back. Lila sat at the dining table, her phone glowing under her fingers, her lips pursed as if she hadn't just dismantled me. The morning light streamed through the window, catching the auburn streaks in her hair, making her look like a painting I'd once thought I'd spend my life studying. We'd been together 3 years, long enough for me to memorize the way her left eyebrow arched when she lied, the way her laugh softened after a glass of wine. But now, as I watched her scroll, her thumb moving with purpose, I wondered if I'd ever really known her at all. The first hint had come weeks ago, subtle as a shadow shifting in the corner of my vision. A text she'd swipe away too quickly, her smile tight when I asked who it was. "Just work," she'd said, her voice a touch too bright. I'd let it go, chalking it up to my own paranoia, the kind that creeps in when you love someone so much it scares you. But then there were the late nights at the office, the way she'd started locking her phone, the faint scent of unfamiliar cologne on her scarf. Each was a pebble in my shoe, small but impossible to ignore, grinding against my trust until it bled. I set the mug down, the clink against the counter louder than I'd intended. Lila glanced up, her green eyes narrowing. "What's wrong with you?" she asked, her tone clipped, like I was the one who'd thrown a grenade into the room. "Nothing," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. I wanted to ask about the text I'd seen last night, the one that lit up her phone at 2 a.m. "Miss you already." I wanted to demand why she'd laughed it off as a friend when I caught the name, Mark, before she snatched the phone away. But I didn't. Not yet. My silence was a weapon, and I wielded it carefully, watching her squirm under its weight. The day dragged on, each moment a tightrope walk between normalcy and dread. We moved through our routines, her humming as she watered the plants, me pretending to read the news on my laptop, but the air crackled with unspoken questions. I noticed the way her fingers hesitated over her phone, the way she angled the screen away from me. My chest ached, a dull throb that spread with every heartbeat, but I kept my face neutral, my words sparse. Let her wonder what I knew. Let her feel the walls closing in. That evening, we sat on the couch, a movie playing that neither of us watched. The flickering light from the screen cast shadows across her face, highlighting the tension in her jaw. I could feel her stealing glances at me, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. Finally, she broke the silence. "You're being weird, Ethan. Just say it. Whatever's on your mind, spit it out." I turned to her, my gaze steady. "Am I replaceable, Lila?" My voice was low, deliberate, each word a stone dropped into still water. Her lips parted, but no sound came. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes, raw and unguarded, like a deer caught in headlights. She opened her mouth to speak, then closed it, her hands clenching into fists. "I didn't mean it like that," she said finally, her voice softer now, almost pleading. "I was just upset. You know how I get." "Do I?" I asked, leaning forward, my elbows on my knees. "Because I'm starting to think I don't know you at all." The words hung between us, heavy and sharp. Her breath hitched, and for a moment I thought she might cry. But then her phone buzzed, a single vibration that felt like a gunshot in the quiet room. She didn't reach for it, but her eyes darted to the screen, and I saw the name flash. Mark. The room spun. My heart pounded, a frantic rhythm against my ribs, but I forced myself to stay still, to let the moment stretch. "Who's that?" I asked, my voice calm, almost conversational. She didn't answer right away. Her fingers twitched, and I could see her mind racing, searching for a lie that would hold. "Just a friend," she said, but her voice cracked, betraying her. The word friend landed like a slap, and I felt the last threads of my trust unravel. I stood, my movement slow, deliberate, and walked to the kitchen. She followed, her footsteps quick and uneven, like she was chasing something she couldn't catch. "Ethan, wait," she said, her voice rising. "It's not what you think." I turned, my back against the counter, and looked at her, really looked. Her eyes were wide, her cheeks flushed, but there was no innocence there, only desperation. "Then tell me," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Tell me what it is." She faltered, her hands gesturing uselessly. "It's complicated," she said, and the word was a confession, a crack in the dam. I didn't need to hear more. The truth was in her hesitation, in the way her shoulders slumped, in the way she couldn't meet my eyes. Mark wasn't a friend. He was the reason she'd called me replaceable, the reason she'd been pulling away, piece by piece, until I was holding a stranger. I didn't yell. I didn't break anything. I just nodded, the motion small, final. "Okay," I said, and the word was a door closing. I walked past her, grabbed my jacket from the hook, and stepped into the hallway. The air was cooler there, cleaner, and I breathed it in, letting it steady me. Behind me, I heard her call my name, her voice breaking, but I didn't turn back. My silence had said enough. That night, I walked the city streets, the neon lights blurring into streaks of color. My mind replayed every moment. The late nights, the locked phone, the way she'd stopped saying "I love you" first. I'd rationalize it all, convince myself it was stress, work, anything but betrayal. But now, the truth was undeniable, a blade lodged in my chest. I loved her still, God help me, but love wasn't enough to mend what she'd broken. As I passed a bar, my phone buzzed. A text from Lila. "I'm sorry. Please come back. We need to talk." I stared at the words, my thumb hovering over the screen. Then another message came, this one from an unknown number. "She's not worth it, man. Trust me." My blood ran cold. Mark. It had to be. The audacity of it, the cruelty, hit me like a punch. I didn't respond to either. I turned off my phone and kept walking, the city's pulse drowning out the ache in my chest. Lila's words had cut me open, but it was my silence that haunted her. I could imagine her now, lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering what I knew, what I'd do next. And as I walked into the night, the weight of her betrayal settled into something else, resolve. I wasn't replaceable. She'd learned that the hard way.